And we are live. Hello, homemakers, and everyone in the chat or watching us on the replay. Tonight, we welcome Stephanie Giesberg from the Secret Slob to the show. Stephanie is going to tell us how we can keep our home clean by using the simplest morning routine ever. But before we get into that, welcome to Homemaking with Purpose, where we bring to you the best ideas, interviews, and information for today's homemaker. I am Denise Jordan, your host. This episode of Homemaking with Purpose is brought to you by Apron Diva. Pretty and practical, we believe an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. And right now, we're celebrating our first anniversary. You can get 10% off your total purchase by using the discount code Anniversary10. All right, so Steph, I am so glad that you could join us tonight. I am really glad to have you here. I've really been looking forward to your coming on, and I really wanted to hear all about your simplest morning routine ever. But before we get into that, tell us about your homemaking journey. Like, how long have you been married? If you've got any children, how many you've got, and how'd you guys meet? So give us all the details.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, Denise. Yeah, we are both YouTubers in the homemaking space. It's lots of fun. It's lots of fun to learn. My homemaking journey, I guess, well, I got married 7 years ago, a little over 7 years ago, and I had met my husband at a roller derby after party because I used to play roller derby. I might be playing this year, we'll see, which is the roller skates and the hitting people. It's kind of violent. Anyways, we met at a party.
I used to love roller derby.
Yeah, it's fun. And then we have 3 kids, and so I became a stay-at-home mom, and I guess more like a full-time homemaker after I had our first baby, so 6 years ago. So and it was definitely a struggle, and that's kind of what my whole channel and everything is about, just me basically learning the ropes from scratch.
Okay. And having that first baby and then trying to be a full-time homemaker, or even, well, you're always a full-time homemaker, whether you're working outside the home or inside the home, you're doing the homemaking full-time. But when you add other stuff on top of it, it just makes it all the much more harder. So it is a struggle when you first get started. So it really is. I've got a mom that I'm going to be talking to in tomorrow, as a matter of fact, and she's got twins. Her first babies were twins. They're about 18 months, so 2 adorable little boys. And so we're going to talk to her and find out what life is like for her with 2 littles. So
Yeah,
that'll be
that would
fun.
be intense.
Yeah. But okay, well, let's go ahead and get into it. One of the things that I saw when I was looking at your website is that you were talking about that inner slob. So my question for you is, do we all have an inner slob?
Right. So I definitely have, I would say, an outer slob. I think no. And you might be surprised because I think not all of us struggle with the same things. So I'm going to say no, not all of us have an inner slob. Some people come to my channel and leave comments that they are truly, I think, truly in disbelief and astounded that I'm not able to keep my space clean or that anybody would need help with these things. I do think it comes naturally to some people, or some people have had like really strict home training and they kind of have a good grip on what to do. I mean, being tidy and being neat and organized, we all know people that it just comes naturally to them.
Yes.
But then again, we don't know what happens behind closed doors. And I think a lot of people in my life, well, I know a lot of people in my life thought I was really neat and tidy and my house was always clean. But it wasn't at all. It was only neat and tidy when they came over and I like panic cleaned the house. So I think that's kind of where the secret part of Secret Slob comes in. I don't think everyone has an inner slob, but you never know.
I know when I was a young mom and my first babies were twins, and it was a struggle. It really was a struggle. And I felt like I knew how to take care of my children and run a house because, I grew up, my mom taught us how to do all that stuff. So I felt like by the time I was 16, I could run a house, cook meals, and all that. Well, that was doing all that with my mom there. It wasn't like on my own. So it was definitely a challenge for me as well. So Okay. So I guess I had that inner slob as well. And I guess the truth be told, if I don't stay on top of things, it can pop out again. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's not necessarily that you're a slob or that I'm a slob. I mean, it's more of just kind of a funny turn of phrase than anything. A lot of it is just it's we're trying our best. If you just can't get it though, it's a struggle.
it is. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. So one of the things that I saw you say, and I'm just going to pop your website up real quick. I love your website. It is absolutely beautiful. So now I'm going to have to share the screen. And I try to talk myself through it because if I don't, I mess it up. I am going to share the screen and show your website. And here you are here. Here's your website. And you talk about your program, 21 Days to a Clean House, and then other things that you talk about on your site. And so I really want people to make sure they take a peek at that because you really give lots of information here in regards to cleaning, organizing, routines, and motivation, and things that can certainly help the novice homemaker and even the seasoned homemaker. So I really wanted to make sure people saw that. And then going to stop sharing this one and come back over here. And I want to make sure that people see your website, your YouTube channel as well. So I'm going to share it again. And this time I'm going to bring up your YouTube channel. And that one is right here. And for this one, you can see that here's your banner here. This is like your home screen. And then this is your latest video. And you're doing your 21 day, or rather your spring declutter challenge, which we will talk about later on, not right now, but we will come back to that. But I just wanted people to see your channel because you do a lot of really cool things that can prove helpful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So one of the things that I picked up when I was looking at your website is that you said a clean house will take less time to keep clean than letting a clean house gradually become a pigsty. So can you explain what you mean by that and why it is so?
Yeah, definitely. So I think, I mean, a really perfect example of this would be like, have you ever cooked something in a pot and it's really messy, pasta or anything, and you wash the pot right away afterwards, like right away.
Hmm.
It's like a little bit of work, but it's not that bad, right? It comes clean relatively easily. But then you leave that same pot overnight and it dries and it gets crusty, right? It's so much harder to clean. You almost have to start back at square one and soak it and this and that. So it's the same, I think, with our houses. Wiping down a bathroom every day or every couple days when it's clean, just quickly wiping the surface is going to be so much quicker in the long run, and you'll have a clean bathroom all the time than letting that soap scum build up and having to scrape it or scrub it off later. So it feels like you're doing sometimes more cleaning, but I actually think it does work out to be less. You're just doing it more often. So you're cleaning more often, but the amount of time is going to be less.
Right. The amount of time you spend is definitely going to be less. So I definitely agree with that. Okay. I like that idea about getting it done right away because when it's nice and the pasta or whatever is still pretty soft in there, it's real easy to clean out. But then once it dries, oh yeah, it's kind of like cleaning the top of the stove too. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So one of the things you talk about is the simplest morning routine ever. So what is the simplest morning routine ever? What does it consist of?
So the simplest morning routine ever is going to be a little bit different for everybody. It has to fit into their life. But what I'm basically trying to say with that is boil down the habits and the tasks in your life that will make the biggest difference long term. So mine are getting dressed, making my bed, unloading my dishwasher, wiping that bathroom, like we just talked about, and starting a load of laundry. These habits, though, fit a life where I'm at home all day and I have 3 little kids that I'm doing laundry for and taking care of. If you are going to work, yours might be different. Or if you don't have kids to do laundry for every day, you might not have to do that one. So all it is look at all the things in your life and then boil it down to what is going to make the biggest difference for you later on. So you can look back and be like, oh, thankfully that was already done.
Okay. Okay. I like that too. And I like the way that you said that it might be a teensy weeny bit different in for different people.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now these tasks seem pretty easy. So let's take them one by one, and then you can talk about why they make such a difference. So the first task on your list of your top 5 tasks that make up your simplest morning routine ever was to get dressed. So what do you mean by get dressed, and why is that so important?
Right. So, and this is going to be a perfect example. This is probably not going to be like a habit on a routine list for someone who goes to work. Obviously, they're going to get dressed. But if you're at home all day, like me, there is a really strong pull to stay in your pajamas and just throw your hair up in a messy bun and maybe not have a shower for a few days. It's not, I'm not trying to shame anyone. This was me. This was my life. This is my natural inclination. Oh, I'll just stay in my jammies or change into some dirty sweatpants. So for me, and I know for a lot of stay-at-home moms or people, getting dressed is that way to kind of start your day, kind of tell yourself you're taking care of yourself, show yourself a little bit of respect, and just be ready for the day. Anybody could pop over at any time. It wouldn't be a big deal. You could run out and do an errand. You wouldn't have to quickly get changed. And just practicing that good hygiene, as simple and basic as it sounds, can be really hard when you're so focused on feeding babies and keeping things clean and doing laundry. So showing yourself that little bit of love first thing in the day changes the whole mentality for the rest of the day.
Okay, I like that idea. And I think you're right. There are times when even now, and I don't have littles at home, if I've like still got on my yoga clothes and I just decided to just go in and get into my routines once I've done my morning yoga, and now I'm cleaning the kitchen and I'm starting the laundry and I'm doing this, that, and the other, and then the doorbell rings and I answer the door and I'm in yoga clothes. It's like, I wish I had changed clothes first.
Yeah.
That kind
Yeah.
of thing. So
Yeah. And everybody's routine is going to be different. I mean, I like to put on a little bit of makeup. I like it. I enjoy that. But it's just about taking care of yourself at the level that you expect. You know, clean clothes is a standard, something that's comfortable, brushing your hair, things like that.
All right. Well, then, something else that I've noticed that you have on your list of priorities is to make the bed. And actually, it's task number 2 on your list of 5. So, why is making the bed so important and why is it in the top 5?
So I think making a bed is a top for everyone. I think everyone should put this one on their morning routine list. It's a lot like getting dressed. It's a really simple, really quick way to feel like you've gotten something accomplished, get your day started, and it will transform the bedroom, right? It'll make the whole bedroom look so much better.
Yes.
Try to keep it simple. I always say, like, keep your bedding simple. If you don't have time to be putting 10 throw pillows and extra quilts, just keep your bedding so simple. Just the blanket you sleep with and the pillows you use. It does not have to look fancy. And an unmade fancy bed is always going to look worse than a made simple bed.
And that is so true. And I really like the idea about the pillows. Now, my husband has a thing about pillows. He swears they multiply on their own. And they really don't. I've got like 5 or 6 pillows on there. And when we make the bed, we put them back on there. But he hates it because there's just so many of them. But the thing about the bed, though, too, is that the bed is a flat surface and it's an easy place for things to collect. And it's probably the largest surface in the room. So if it's a mess, it can really make the whole room look messy. So I like that idea about making sure the bed is made.
Yeah, good. And it's easy, right? It's an easy win.
Definitely an easy win. Okay, so making our way down that list of yours, unloading the dishwasher or putting away any dishes you washed and left to dry in the rack is number 3 on your top 5 of making the simplest morning routine ever. Why does something as simple as doing the dishes and getting them put away make such a difference?
Sure. So, and this one's a total, for me, a timing thing. It's really, it has to get unloaded at some point.
Hmm.
I mean, you're not gonna be able to fill it up if you don't unload it. So why not do it first thing in the day so that you have an empty dishwasher to fill with dirty dishes
Hmm.
and you have all your clean dishes that you can use. I mean, it's so annoying to have to look for a dish and you don't have it, so then you're looking in the dishwasher. So this one is, I mean, it's a task that's going to have to happen for everyone at some point, whether you put it on the morning routine or not. So why not just put it here, have a designated time so that you always know your clean dishes are in the cupboards and your dirty dishes have a place to go in the dishwasher. So it's an easier way to keep your kitchen clean too, I think. So I do that one pretty regularly.
I have to agree with you on that one. On the days that I don't get my dishwasher unloaded and get my clean dishes put away, when we have breakfast, or let's say I've made the hubby breakfast or made him his tea and given him some biscuits or something, and I've given it to him in the studio, when he comes downstairs, if the dishes are in the dishwasher, he might rinse them out and then put them in the dishwasher. But if I haven't unloaded the dishwasher yet, he just sets them in the sink.
Yeah.
So, and I'll do the same thing myself. So it really does make a difference if I've got the dishwasher unloaded and those dishes put away, then the dishwasher is ready to receive any dishes that come up throughout the day, breakfast, lunch, whatever.
Sure, and then it's less work because instead of taking the step to bring it into the kitchen and put it on the counter, and then someone else has to take the second step of taking it from the counter into the dishwasher, it just goes straight into the dishwasher. So again, it's that going back to how a clean house is actually easier to keep clean than a messy house.
Definitely. Okay. So let me just remind those who have joined us late that we've got Stephanie Giesbrecht from the Secret Slob on with us, and she is telling us all about the simplest morning routine ever, and it can really make a difference in helping you to keep your house neat and tidy. And then also we've got our Mother's Day apron, the Laura, on sale, and it celebrates moms and all things mom, and it's called Mom's Kitchen, so that's on sale for 10% off. So be sure and check that out. Okay, so there are 2 more tasks on your list, and they're at the bottom of the list rather than closer to the top. And sometimes it is said that the last 2 things you think of are the hardest ones. So the last 2 tasks that you have on the list are 1, doing a load of laundry every day, and wiping down the bathroom counters. So let's talk about why these 2 tasks round out your top 5, and they're at the bottom of the list. And why are they so important as well?
Okay, so um, the bathroom, wiping down the bathroom, well, like we talked about, keeping it clean is easier than having to do a huge, big soap scum scrub. So it's really easy to just quickly wipe it down. It's something you can build into your routine. I know my sister just uses her face cloth, like washes her face and then just wipes the bathroom down. It's simple and it keeps those rooms, which can get so gross, clean. The laundry one is just kind of a way to stay on top of laundry, especially like I say, if you have little kids or you have extra people in your house and you are creating a lot of laundry, doing one load every day helps you stay on top of it, doesn't make for these big mountains of dirty laundry, and then you have to face it on your weekend, right? Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to spend all day Saturday doing laundry.
No. And so the reason I put them actually at the bottom, though, like you said, it's the last thing you think of because as much as I think they're very important, they're still in the top 5. They're not as important as the top 3. So I always like to tell people, work on getting 3 done. Any 3. If you have extra energy or time, do another one. If you have extra energy or time, do another one. But if you can do 3 every day of any of these 5, eventually that will be enough. It's not about being perfect and perfectly getting all of them done every single day. You'll know which ones need to get done and you can just tackle 3. So it's so much easier to give yourself that grace and say, oh, I don't have to do all of them. I just have to do some of them.
And
And you
I
can
think that falls beautifully into your sentiment, which you say progress, not perfection. So I talked just for a little bit about why progress and not perfection is so important for our young homemakers, because I have a lot of young homemakers who follow me. I've got some seasoned ones as well, but my young ones are really trying to find their footing in their homemaking journey. Some of them are stay-at-home moms, some of them have little ones and they're working outside the home. So regardless, they're trying to make this home the best they can. So talk about progress and not perfection.
Okay, so progress and not perfection is definitely my personal mantra that I like to share with everyone because a huge stumbling block for me at the beginning of my homemaking journey and what I later realized most parts of my life is that I often feel like if I can't do something perfectly, I
Mhm,
won't even attempt it at all. So if I don't have time to clean my entire house, like a big power clean, marathon clean, where it's all sparkling all at the same time, I won't even lift a finger to do a dish, or I used to.
mhm,
It's this idea that if you can't do it, why do it badly? Whereas now I've changed my whole idea that doing something that's important is worth doing badly. Who cares if the kitchen isn't perfect? You got the dishes in the dishwasher. That's gonna be so much better later on. Who cares if you didn't wipe the counters? If you can't get everything done, that's fine. Get something done. And it's so important when you have little kids because quite honestly, you're never going to have the time to do a marathon clean or do a power clean or make it all perfect. So you may as well accept now that you just have to make these little progress steps. Again, boil down the things that are going to make the biggest difference and focus your time there. Everything else can go. If you're got a new baby at home, your baseboards don't need to be wiped down. It's
mhm.
fine. Get your laundry done and get your dishes done and forget the rest.
That's for sure. Because if you've got a new baby at home, your time is not your own. And
Yeah.
even if they're not a new baby, even if you've got a toddler, your time is not your own. And you have to work around um,
Mhm.
the constraints that you have. So I really like that you emphasize getting something done and picking out what's most important. So
Yeah.
I really like that.
Well,
Oh,
and another one, I talked to a girl the other day, or I should say a woman. I talked to a woman the other day and we talked about her whole house is a mess.
mhm.
Where does she even start? And I say, start in the kitchen. That's where you've got to work. That's where you've got to get stuff done. You can still sit in your living room if there's stuff there. I mean, my house is covered in toys all the time, but I am very diligent about keeping my kitchen clean because I can't stand cleaning in there or sorry, working in there and cooking if
It's
there's
a
stuff
mess.
everywhere. It's awful. It's an awful experience.
I agree with you. I like having my kitchen clean and I like to get everything all done in the kitchen before I go to bed the night before. Because when I come downstairs in the morning and the kitchen is clean, the counters are clean, I've got my fresh towels and everything all laid out, I feel like my kitchen is giving me a hug.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and you from last night is giving you a hug is what it is, really.
Well, actually, you're right, it is. But those days that I don't get it done, and you come downstairs and just like,
Yeah.
because you got to
Yeah.
start the day cleaning something up.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you're starting instead of starting with, making breakfast and having a coffee and getting
Right.
your thoughts together. I just have to plug in 1 second.
Go ahead. Not a problem.
There we go. I'm done.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. So the five tasks on your top five of the simplest morning routine ever, those top five work for me. I'm home all the time now. I'm not working outside the home. It's just me and the hubby here. So it works out for me. But what about those moms that are working full time away from home or they're home all day, but they're working from home? So their time is still not their own because they've either got a full time or half time job and they just happen to be doing it from their home. Do you have any advice for them?
Right. So I try not to give advice about things I don't know a lot about. I have never been a full-time working mom. I did work a small amount when I had my first baby and I was just like I can't do this. So I can't speak from my own perspective. But I do always often involve my sister Jill in my channel, and actually we have a podcast now, and yeah, it's so much fun. And so she always shares her routine because she is a full time working mom, and her routine is all about preparing things ahead of time. For me, I'm getting everything done in the morning to set myself up for a really nice day. For
Mhm.
her, she's setting things up in the evening so that she can have a calm and peaceful morning. My morning can kind of go however. Hers is time limited. She needs to get those kids out the door, get them to their daycare or school, and then get to work. So she needs to make sure everything's falling in line. And like we were talking about, having the clean kitchen and giving yourself a hug for the morning. So I know she makes dinner. This is crazy, but it's so genius. She makes dinner the night before. So after she puts the kids to bed, she goes into her kitchen and makes dinner, puts it in the fridge, and then the next day when they get home at 5 p.m., the kids are starving, she just pulls it out and it's made. Oh,
Oh, that's
really?
genius.
I know. It's brilliant because I mean, who's not had a child screaming that they're hungry and you're hungry and you're trying to so that's one thing she does. I know she also, and this is really common, loads up the car, packs up all the lunches, and actually puts them in the car. So there's no even running around and grabbing things in the morning.
Oh.
Setting up clothes ahead of time. Just anything you can do so that you're taking steps out of the morning
Mhm.
and adding them to the evening. So hers is very evening routine heavy, and my evening routine is quite short. My morning routine is a lot heavier.
I like that. Now, I believe you said that's on your podcast, so I'm going to have to put that in the description box because I'm sure that there's going to be some moms that definitely want to check out that podcast.
Yeah, please.
I'll be sure and put that in the description box. So,
Yeah, we just started it here 2 months ago, and we've been wanting to do it for a long time. It's just so much fun, and it's really just talking about the struggles of motherhood and homemaking, and also some of the rewards we can get and how to get there. And it's just trying to. I mean, I'm on a mission to just help everyone feel normal and feel like your
yeah.
house doesn't look like Pinterest, and that's so normal.
Oh,
Pinterest houses don't
exactly.
even look like Pinterest houses.
And you know what? I forgot. I've gotten so interested talking to you. I forgot all about giving the apron note. So let
Oh,
me, let me. You made me think of that. So I give an apron note on every show, and this is the apron note for today. And it's having a routine reduces the chaos. Having a routine reduces the chaos. So one of our viewers is going to win this apron note. So my assistant will pull their name from the comment section. But how does this note resonate with you? And I'll send you one too. Is your mailing address like on your channel or something like that?
no, I'll send it to you if you'd like.
Okay, so then send me
That'd
that
be
so
great.
that I can send you your apron note. So having a routine reduces the chaos. So how does that resonate with you? And I'm sure it's resonating with our audience right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for me because that was how my whole life felt before I found routines and daily habits. It felt like I didn't know where to start. I didn't know why nothing was working. I never felt like I could get ahead. I never felt like I could even get equal. Having a routine gives you a set of steps and a set of instructions for your day, so you don't have to think about those things, and you can open up your mind to more creative and bigger thinking, and you can focus on your family and yourself and so many more important things than deciding when to make your bed. If it's on your routine, you just kind of start to do it automatically. It's a struggle at first. It
Yes.
takes time to implement daily routines and habits, but once they come, they're just automatic, like brushing your teeth.
Exactly. I love that. And I have to agree. I wish that when I was a young mom, I knew some of the things that I know now, which of course we all do. But I
Right.
didn't have a routine when I was a young mom, and my life just always felt so chaotic. And then with having twins as the first babies, it was crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. And we didn't live at home. We were away at college. So my mom and all my family, all the people who would normally support me were 200 miles away.
Wow.
So it was just crazy. So if I would have had a routine, that would have been so much more helpful for me.
Yeah.
Here's a comment that I hear often too, and you kind of alluded to this earlier too, but I see this a lot on my channel and on some of the other homemaking channels, and it's this one. I clean all the time, but my house is still a mess. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Help.
Yeah.
What would you say to that viewer?
Yeah, and it can feel that way. I think really this is where that progress, not perfection, comes into play because if you're cleaning all the time, things are getting done. We
Mhm.
need to recognize what we are getting done. If you're cleaning all the time, a house cannot look perfectly clean if you're living in it,
No, it cannot. It's
right?
not Pinterest.
Yeah, because the minute you finish cleaning your house, you have a drink of water because you're thirsty, and there you go. There's
Mhm.
a dirty water glass. It's never gonna be perfect. And so I would say to the person who's cleaning all the time, recognize what you are getting done and then leave it. Decide how much time you wanna spend cleaning and really what your expectation of your house and yourself is. And if that's so important to you, then I mean, go for it, but really decide if it is, because I know a lot of people clean so that when people come over, they don't see that they live in a mess. But I like to flip the script on that and say, clean your house for you. Clean
Mhm.
because you live there, right? And clean it so that you have a place to live. Don't clean it for other people. If they're coming over to see that your house is clean and do an inspection, they're not the kind of people that should be coming over to your house.
Them coming to your house. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I like it when you said clean it to your expectations. What is it that you expect and what is it that you need? And then leave it there because
Yeah.
you're right. If they're coming over doing the white glove test, then you don't even want them in your house.
No. And I mean, I think too, I get comments on my channel all the time. Oh, you get everything done and this and that. I mean, just remember, you're watching me on YouTube. I don't show the ugly sides of my life. You see my best self all the time. I'm not going to edit in. I mean, I try to be as real as possible, but I'm not going to edit in those hard days. That's not,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't even have time to film them. But if you were to walk into my house right now, I have a clean bathroom. My bed is made. I'm wearing clothes, but there are toys. And I think if I recall, my daughter has cut paper up and it's all over our living room right now. It's not perfect. And I would never apologize for that because if anybody comes over and has a problem with that, I'd be like, have you seen my 3 children? That's the only explanation they need. And I don't even have to give them that. Right?
Right.
That's how we live.
I like that. I like that completely. And I think that so often we do watch Pinterest and we watch YouTube. So I think when you said, you see my best self, you see my best house, is absolutely true. I've shown a couple of times when my kitchen was just an absolute mess, just to let my people know that, yep, every now and then Miss Denise has a bad day or whatever. But I don't usually show those bad days. And like you said, on those bad days, I don't even have the energy to film. So you're right. So I thank you for saying that. And hopefully that will give our young homemakers out there, as well as our seasoned homemakers, a little bit of grace. And I think too, you've got to give yourself grace as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Big time. I mean, oh, these yeah, it's just so unbelievable how hard we can be on ourselves,
Mhm.
and we are our own worst critics, and if there's anything I'm trying to promote through my channel, it's not necessarily how to clean your toilet. I mean, everybody can figure that out. It's to when you're sick, or you don't have the energy, or you don't have enough sleep, let it go. The
Yes.
toilet can wait.
Well, and
Take care of yourself.
I think too, well, okay, now you just said something that I want to make sure everyone heard, which is take care of yourself, which is good. You do want to make time for self care. And that was one of our apron notes a couple of weeks ago. But you do have to care for self because if you are working from a half empty tank, you're not going to be much good to your family. So
No.
you want to make sure that you're doing that, is taking care of yourself. And then the other thing that I want people to think about is that just do the best you can every day and just keep it moving and let go of what you can't get done. Like you said, you want to make progress and not be perfect.
Yeah.
So now this one is for me. What are your laundry challenges?
Oh, what
I
aren't my
love
laundry
laundry. I just love laundry.
You love laundry?
I do. My sister's like, seriously? But, I look
Okay.
at it as a challenge. Like, what are your laundry challenges? And so I'm excited to talk to this mom with her twins to find out what are your laundry challenges?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, everything is my laundry challenge. If there is one thing that I cannot make stick, it's getting my laundry done on a regular basis. I mean, I have so many little hacks to make this easier for myself. One my sister came up with, which is our no fold laundry method. with our kids' clothes and our tights and our gym clothes and anything that doesn't matter if it gets wrinkly or won't get wrinkly. Like a pair of leggings is not going to get wrinkly because they stretch. Underwear. Yeah. We don't fold. It's just so much more likely I'm going to put stuff away
Yeah, just stack them up and put them in the drawer.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no fold. I also have a rule for myself. So I have this small load a day, but it doesn't always happen. It often doesn't happen. So I do have a rule now that I don't start a new load until I have completely finished what's in there. So if there's a load sitting in the dryer, I do not let myself put another load in the washer and think, oh yeah, now we'll get a bunch done. Because I won't. It'll just be another load sitting in the dryer for me tomorrow. So I take that out, deal with it. If I've dealt with it, then I can start another load. Or often I'll just wait till the next day to kind of start the routine fresh. I'm also awful at getting stains out. I don't know. I'm just not great at it. Laundry is a challenge for me. And when my mom comes, it's like the chore that she takes over because she just knows. It's just, I hate it.
That is so funny. When I go visit my daughter, I always do laundry.
Yeah. Well, she probably really appreciates it.
Yeah, she does. And her kids do too, because they're at an age now where they can do their own, but grandma does it a little bit differently. So
yeah. And my mom folds the underwear. So everything, my kids are just like, oh, look, it's not just like thrown in there.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Did I have another question for you? Let's make sure I got everything. You are just so fun to talk to.
Thank you. It's been fun to talk to you too, Denise.
Yeah. And I like the fact that on your channel, you keep it real. And you're just being real right now. There have been days when you said, you know what, I didn't get to this, or I didn't get it all done. Or when you pull out your planner or your worksheet and you say, okay, these are the 4 tasks that I'm going to do this week. And then if you don't get them all done, you'll say, if you don't get them all done, it's okay. Or I got 3 of them done instead of all 4 of them or whatever. Yeah. Just a little bit, the fly lady system, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I first found, right? And we talked about having a routine when your kids are little. And so speaking of my mother, so when I started my YouTube channel, or prior to that, I was at home and my mom had gone on a big trip. She was gone for like 2 months. And then she doesn't live in my town. When she came back, the day she landed, I was on the phone. I was like, can you come here, please? I was like struggling. And I felt so bad because I knew she had just gotten back, but I needed help so badly. And she came and saw that I was a mess. My house was a mess. I hadn't showered for 10 days. I'm not joking. 10 days. It happened and I didn't even realize it. I wasn't sitting there being like day 1, day 2. I literally sat there on a Thursday and was like, I haven't showered since last Sunday. Something's got to change. And that's what my mom said. She said, you need a routine. You need a routine. You cannot carry on like this. You're going to go crazy and you need to figure this out. And so she introduced me to Fly Lady through Diane in Denmark. You know Diane in Denmark.
I do.
Yeah, she's awesome. And so I started watching YouTube and figuring it out. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll start sharing my journey. And so I started when I was still a completely messy slob. So if you guys are interested, like scroll back on my channel and watch some of those first videos, because that's me like day 1, Strugglesville, figuring it out.
And you know what? And you eventually, hopefully you will figure it out. You will.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to give yourself some grace. Like you said, you do get it figured out. Okay. Well, now it's time for the lightning round.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. So, Skechers or flip-flops?
Oh, flip-flops.
Skirts or jeans?
Skirts.
Mani or petty?
Petty.
Slow cooker or Dutch oven?
Dutch oven.
Hockey or baseball?
Hockey. I'm Canadian.
Hey, they play baseball over there. All right. Candlelight or moonlight?
Moonlight.
Okay. Morning routine or evening routine?
Oh, morning routine.
Okay.
Completely.
And Big White in the Okanagan Valley of British Columbia or the Jean D'Or Beach in Quebec?
Big White.
Big White. All right. Okay. So those are your questions for the lightning round. I had to work hard for those too.
Yeah, you did some Canadian research.
I had to. Yeah, I had to. So the other question is, how can the viewers connect with you?
Sure. So we talked about it. I have my YouTube channel, and my sister and I have started our podcast, which we're having lots of fun. But the best way to connect with me is through my social channels. On Instagram is where I kind of share a little bit more of the just regular everyday stuff. And then we have a Facebook page and a Facebook group called Secret Slob Motivation and Accountability. And you don't necessarily connect with me on there, but that's where most of our community connects with one another and goes to kind of gather and support each other. So you can check that out as well. But yeah, just in the YouTube comments, usually I read them all and I get a little heart if I've seen them.
Okay. And then tell us about your 21 day to clean challenge. Tell us about that, your course.
Sure.
And then you just were wrapping up a spring cleaning challenge. So talk about both of those.
Yeah, so I love a challenge, right? I love it when there's a start date and an end date, and these are the steps you're going to take, and this is what's going to happen. In all facets of my life, I love challenges. So I've put together lots of challenges having to do with homemaking and cleaning. And one of them is the 21 days to a clean home, which is basically for anyone that is starting from ground zero, no experience, totally lost. Start there. We're going to add daily routines and habits into your life slowly and steadily. And as you go, you can decide which ones work for you, which ones don't, and build out these perfect morning routines and evening routines and decide what's really going to impact your life the best way. So I'm not teaching people to do my way. I'm teaching them to find their best way for their house and their family.
Okay.
So that's the 21 days to a clean home. There's a video series, and also I have a workbook. You can follow along for free with the video series, and there's a checklist. We also have a workbook if you want to do just a little bit more deeper digging and dive in, figure out kind of what things are really going to work for you. I recommend the workbook, but you absolutely don't have to use that. Then the 21-day decluttering challenge is what we're doing right now. It's the spring decluttering challenge. Every year I like to go through my whole house, and you show it on our website. That was actually my old house. I just moved into a new old house.
Yes.
And so I'm basically still, trying to figure out where things go and decluttering and trying to find homes for things. So I like to do it every year. And this year I'm doing a follow along series, and there's a printable that you can follow along with me. And there's a little contest every day, which is fun. But we're just on day 2 now, although when this airs, I guess it will have been over. So you can go back and check it out.
Okay. And one other big question. When you guys first moved into your new property, and I remember watching you driving down the road, and it did look like a road up to your new house, and you thought you saw a bear, and you said, "Oh my God, is that a bear? We might need a dog." You get a dog, and was it really a bear?
It was a bear. It was a black bear. So it was a big black bear. They're not as big as brown bears, like those grizzly bears up in Alaska, although we have those here too. It was a big black bear. And I live in Canada. We live in kind of rural northern area. So I'm used to seeing animals. That's fine. But that week we moved in, we saw 8 black bears.
Oh my gosh.
So they don't bother me so much, but I really worry about my kids and sending my kids out in the yard to play. But I think we made enough noise that first summer, because I haven't seen one since. I mean, they're away in the winter, but after that first week, we're outside yelling and running around and doing things. And I didn't see another one. I think, are going to get a dog this year anyways, just because we live on this big property and that'll be fun.
And every kid needs a dog.
Every kid needs a dog. I've never had a dog.
Really?
Ever. I know. So I'm a little bit scared because I don't know what I'm doing, but my husband's had dogs, and we'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna get a dog this year, but I'm not too worried about the bears anymore.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, was there anything you want to add?
No, but thanks so much for having me. It's been so much fun talking to you. I love being able to just kind of have this back and forth, especially because you're in the same space I'm in, and just talk about the struggle and letting everyone know that, you're not alone.
Well, and the fun part for me when I get to meet new homemakers or people in the same niche on YouTube is that, people that just watch YouTube, they don't get what you actually have to do to create and produce a channel. And whereas I'm into the teaching mode, I like showing people how to do it. I like teaching you how to clean the toilet.
Yeah.
How to clean the kitchen or how to clean the stove. Because, I've had 40 plus years of experience doing that. So I like showing you how to do it because I'm not in the mommy space anymore. So I had to figure out, okay, so what am I going to bring that's a little bit different from Steph, who is in the mommy space. And so
Yeah.
it's just fun.
Yeah. Well, and it's good that you're teaching people to clean a toilet because I know people ask me for cleaning tips. I'm like, I don't really have any. I'm not very good at it.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go ahead and give my call to action, which I'm just getting so relaxed chatting, I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing here today. So, all right, ladies and gents, what is your aha moment? Can the simplest morning routine ever make a difference in your home? Tell me in the comment section below. I look forward to hearing from you. And then also be sure and check back and check out my latest video that has come up for more homemaking inspiration. Visit me at This and That with Denise Jordan on YouTube, and also visit Steph at The Secret Slob on YouTube, and also on that beautiful website. Oh my goodness. And don't forget, the Mom's Kitchen Apron is at 10% off. And don't forget to visit us at www.aprondiva.com. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying you are not done yet. Click on the link in the comment section below and check out another of my homemaking stories. And I will see you next time, and I'll hang out with Steph for a second in the green room. Bye.
Bye.